Good morning, everybody.
Good evening.
Oh, special guest star. I see. I'm not going to mention his name. Chaim Givaldic. Who else? I'm muted.
No, you're not.
Oh, it says everybody else is muted. I'm just trying to see. Is Robert Links on today?
No, he's not.
Robert Links is not on. Okay. Today's shir, Baruch Hashem, no bad news today. Can be excited. First of all, today is the 5th day of the Omer. And if you see here, they sent this out for our group. A lot of work has been put into this. The background is today's daf. It's daf lametes. So you could remember two things, to say the Sphira and today's daf. Today's shir is being sponsored, L'Refuah Shleima of Robert Links' father-in-law. Again, Shalom Mordechai ben Pesel Rechel should have a Refuah Shleima. He told us yesterday after the shir was over that he found the shir on his own without Robert telling him. He's been a fan. He wanted to come visit us live. Unfortunately, he's on a ventilator ready for 2 weeks. He should have a refuah shleima. The whole shir is davening for him. So let's put this up here. All right. Today promises to be a very geschmack shir. Probably one of the most entertaining charts that I've had in a while. So we'll get to it real quickly. It's a shorter daf, Be'ezer Hashem. And tomorrow night, shir is at 9 o'clock after Yontif. 9 o'clock, approximately an hour after Havdalah. No, why? No, it's fine. We have a guest, Mayor, my son-in-law, sitting with me, Baruch Hashem, so he's going to keep me company. Last few days was rough. I also want to welcome David Brandis from South Bend. Our South Bend, he was sick in the hospital or sick with corona for a long time. Baruch Hashem, he's back, he's healthy. And we have Elchanan Feinstein that Baruch Hashem is improving every day. Magachir from Chicago, so we're very excited that he's back. He was online yesterday, he's on Zoom for 2 days. I don't know if he's on today. If he's not on, it's a very, very good sign. That means he's back to full strength, he doesn't need us. He's on his own. Anyway, here's a quick email. This is from Daniel. Thank you, Rebelli. I love the shir. It keeps me on track, Baruch Hashem. Just something small. Sunday daf. Lamed Zayin Omid Beis. You missed 3 words. 12 lines from the bottom. Umashulei va'achel. Keep up the great inspiration. Bad news. Rabbi Yisai, we're going to have to start from daf Lamed Zayin Omid Beis and work our way back to, we cannot miss any words. So we're going to go back there. Says the Gemara, Umashulei va'achil. It says the Hor of Nachman bar Yitzchak Mari de Uvda Havda. Nachman bar Yitzchak, he was very medactic in all his doings. Umashulei va'achil, Umashulei va'achil, Umashulei va'achil. I'll try very hard not to miss a word. However, there's another email. This one says, please do not read. So I won't read this. It's a very nice email. I'm not sure why he doesn't want me to read it. But it does say here that yesterday, also on Daf Lamed Zayin, I explained Karmu Poneha, the bread. I explained it wrongly. He's probably right. I didn't mean to explain it like that. I didn't go back to here, but Karmu Poneha means there's like a little bit of a cross, but it's not done inside. Not that it's fully done. 2 mistakes on Lamed Zayin. Thank you for the ha'aras. I appreciate them because it's Torah and we got to be real. So says the Mishnah. We're holding in Daf Lamed Ches Omid Beis. Ein noisnim beitzo betzad hamecham b'shvil shetizgalgel. We have a bunch of different charts right here in this very exciting Mishnah. You cannot take an egg, and you cannot put the egg up against a kettle that just came off the flame. So it's not on the fire right now. It's very hot. You're going to put it on the side of the kettle. Now what's going to happen? It's going to cook, semi-cook. It's not going to be completely cooked. But some people eat it like that. But the Mishnah uses an interesting lashon, b'shvil shetizgalgel, that it should roll. So let me demonstrate. This, by the way, is one of the most expensive science, what's the word? You have to help me with the words. Now that I have another person.
Props?
No, signed project. Here. This egg is uncooked. You see? Lo mevushal. So you're going to do one of these. If this falls on the floor, Hashem Yirachem. This thing is worth $20 to $30 a pop. This is science experiment. Thank you, sir. Science experiment. Barak Schechter. It's great to see you, Barak. Anyway, you see, I don't know if you guys could see. I'm going to spin. Oh, nothing happened. You see, you cannot spin a raw egg. I don't know if you know this. Of course you do. Says the Mishnah, Kadeshit is galgal. You see this? What's going on here? Once it's cooked, it rolls. That's the pshat in tizgalgal. Okay, so that's that. What are you trying to do? You're trying to cook it. It's asur. It's a deraisa, bishul. V'loi yafki eno besudarim. Do not take clothing that was heated up in the sun. Let's say you hung your clothing before Shabbos, and they're hot in the sun. You can't do this. I got to get back to my screen for a second. Okay. Here's the sun. Here's the clothing. Here's your egg. You're not allowed to cook something on clothing that was heated by the sun. Now we're going to see a whole bunch on that. Rabbi Yosi matir. So we have a machloikis. Can you cook on clothing that was heated up or not by the sun? You cannot bury an egg in sand. On that the Gemara says no machloikis. Everybody agrees that you cannot cook in the sand. On the bottom of this picture, it's not an accurate picture, but there are people that try to, if you go on Google, you see a lot of people that cook with eggs. I have another picture coming up soon. This is to fry your egg, but we're talking about in the sand, not on top of the sand. So this is not accurate. This is not what we're talking about. This is just because it's cool. You take an egg and you fry it on the hot sand. Maisa sha'asu anshi Tveria. Says the Mishnah, there's a story that in Tveria, in Tveria they have the hot springs. So I happen to know this. I told you that I was part of this group called the Mentors Mission from Or Sameach. I highly recommend it for anybody out there. Oh, here's Sam Winehouse. Okay. Father-in-law, something with the email the other day. I got it. Okay. Shkoyach. So you take who's that? Okay. Michael Cohen. Daf Leppard. That's his new one. Okay. Don't send it to my wife. Fine. I'll go upon him. So yeah, I was on this group called the Mentors Mission, and it's basically you take American businessmen and they pair you with non-religious people, students from America, and they do this trip. They all fly in together from America. People that are here in Eretz Yisrael could do it as well. And they do this whole trip. So Baruch Hashem, I had some success over there. I had some of the guys actually did tshuva, and they have children now in Chedarim. Beautiful stuff. But one of the places that used to take us is to Chamei Tveria. There's a place in Tveria called Chamei Tveria. You sit there and in this pool. I believe that there's like the water goes through a boiler system over there, and they tell you it's from Chamei Tveria. Whatever. So I do have a picture actually of us guys sitting there in the pool. This is amazing. This is a real picture of hot springs, a real hot springs. So this is what it looks like. These are Japanese monkeys with snow chilling out in the hot springs. Akopanim, you take this water, this hot water from the Chamei Tveria, and you cool off, you heat up cold water coming in. That's what happens here. Exactly how does that look? So this is again from Pirush Chai. Nice picture. I like this pshat a lot. This makes a lot of sense to me. Basically, the cold water goes through a pipe, through the Chamei Tveria. This is Chamei Tveria, it's hot. The cold water goes through, comes out on the other side, and it's heated up. When did this process start? On Friday. Obviously, you can't do it on Shabbos. Did it on Friday. The other pshat that they want to say, it seems like Rashi agrees to this pshat, but the Ran learns in Rashi like this, that you basically dump the cold water directly in, It's a little shver, because Rashi, we'll see soon, says it's hatmana. This is just mixed in, and it doesn't jive well, with me at least. Tosfos has problems with it as well. I like the other pshat better. Me, personally. So, and by the way, this would be the sugya of Dut Shemesh, solar panels on the roof. We're going to see soon a little bit more of it. What is a solar panel? How does a solar panel work? Let's talk about it later. It's a little bit better later. So, ve'eviu silin shel tzoyin l'toich ama shel chamen. Omer lem chachamim im b'Shabbos kechamen shehuchma b'Shabbos. Yes, you started the process. You turned on this pipe here. I think there's a nice, you see over here, they actually have a valve over here. You turn on the valve. You started the process on Friday. Say chachamim, but if you heated up water on Shabbos, what's the halacha? You can't use it. V'asurim b'rechitza v'shtiyah. We're going to make this Chamei Tveria as if you turned it on, like as if you heated it up on Shabbos. We'll have a lot more explanation in the Gemara. In B'Yantiv, and if you did the same thing on Yantiv, you try to heat up this water on Yantiv, we're going to make it, we're going to make this water that goes through these pipes in the Chamei Tveria, and you heat it up, even though you started off on Friday, I'm going to make it kichamim shuchmu b'yantiv, as if it happened on Yantiv, and therefore it's usher to bathe with it. You're allowed to drink from it. You're allowed to make tea from that water. We'll see in the Gemara. Ibayluhu, gilgel mai. So you took this egg and you made it to a point we could. Yeah, this is the rolling one. You're able to roll it. In other words, it's semi-cooked, right? Because if you take an egg and you put it up against a hot pot, it's not going to cook. I just cooked this. I think it's the first time in my life I did a hard-boiled egg. I asked my wife how to do it. You have to heat up the water, it has to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, then you turn it off. She said, I guess she knows what she's talking about because she makes these hard-boiled eggs all the time. And you leave it in there for a while. Now, if I were to take that egg and put it on a pot that just came off the flame, I'm not going to achieve that boiled thing. So what am I going to achieve? Semi-boiled. That's also considered bishul. So he asks him, Ibarlu gilgul mai, is that considered bishul? Omer Rav Yosef gilgul chayav chatos. If you put it up against the pot, you're chayav chatos. In other words, bishul de oiraisa, 100% chayav. Omer bereder avina afanana mitanina daf lamed tes omer de aleph. For those of you who requested and don't remember that I say it, here it is. Daf lamed tes omer de aleph. Kol sheba bechamim milifnei Shabbos, any type of salty food, let's call it herring. Sheba becham lefnei Shabbos. So in those days they would take the herring and also cook it. It's very. Rabbi Blinder's here. I haven't seen you in a while, and I haven't seen your son, the Kayan. Where are you? Okay, well, welcome back. So you have salty fish, any type of salty thing. I cook it up as well. If I cooked it up completely before Shabbos, I could soak it in hot water on Shabbos. Hot water meaning hot water off the flame. Why could I soak it on Shabbos? I'm not accomplishing anything. This thing is fully cooked. Kol sheba b'cham lefnei Shabbos, it was already cooked up before Shabbos. Shabbos b'cham Shabbos, also known as ein bishul achar bishul. Certain things, this type of item, you cannot cook something that's already fully cooked if it's a salad like that. V'chol sheba b'cham lefnei Shabbos. And if it wasn't cooked before Shabbos, I could rinse it. Why can I rinse it on Shabbos with hot water? Because that's not considered cooking. I'm just rinsing it. I'm getting rid of the salt. I'm not cooking it. And I'm allowed to do that. Extremely old herring, a year old. Says Rashi, Dog Shekorin Toinina. Says that goes with Tzionim by me, my Gemara, tuna. I saw the article calls it a different thing, some mackerel or whatever. I like tuna. I can relate to tuna and sushi. So if I have sushi, but this is really old sushi, a year old, doesn't really fit in with sushi, but you get the idea. The idea is that this is something that all you need to eat it is a little bit of a rinse. So you give it a rinse. Shadechason zuhi gmar melachton. So what does it say here? Anything that it is considered the gmar melacha, you're done. You're finished. You give it a little rinse and I could eat it. That's bishul. That's all I need to be over d'oraisa. So if I have this tuna, I have this old herring, I give it a little rinse, aser. Why? That's gmar melacha. Let's take it to our case. You have an egg, I put it up against the kettle, that's off the flame, but zui gmar melachtoi. There are a lot of people that like these eggs. Hey, look, some people eat raw eggs. As Simon Cohen will tell you. Yeah, you could eat a raw egg. They say chazanim do it. Baruch Hashem, I'm not a chazan. So, but a semi-raw egg. Yes, Simon, you eat some raw egg sometimes? No, not you. Your voice is good enough without it. Okay, good. So, but some people do. There are crazy chazanim that do. But forget that. There's a step weiter. This is, 1/3 sunny side up, really raw. People do it. So Meila Zui Gimar Melachton, you see from here, that's the Issa D'Oraisa, Chai V'chatos. Next. Nusogya, Daf Lam Tesam and Aleph, brand new Masechta, called V'lo Yefkiena B'Sudarim. You learned in the Mishnah, you're not allowed to take a beged, some sort of garment, a piece of cloth, heat it up in the sun, and make an egg on it. Or cook some food on it. Rabbi Yossi says, mutar. Says the Gemara, v'hadis not. We learned in the Mishnah. Later on we're going to learn. You're allowed to take food, put it into a pit to protect it from the sun. We do this all the time. You take a drink, you put it in the refrigerator. Take a drink, you put it into a river or not such good water, but the point is that it's going to cool off your jar. Here's the point that we need. You take something cold, food, and you put it in the sun. What does it say here? This is like Rabbi Yossi says. I could take an egg, like this picture right over here. Rabbi Yossi is mechulak, and he says, you're allowed to do this on Shabbos. You're allowed to take an egg and put it on your beged that you heated up in the sun. So too, that's what the Mishnah says right here. You're allowed to take food and heat it up in the sun. Like Rabbi Yossi, v'loy rabbanan. So the Gemara says like this. It goes like this. To make an egg in the sun, you go on Google, a lot of people trying this out, it works. You can take an egg and just fry it in the sun, on a sidewalk, on a car, but you're using the sun. That's mutter on Shabbos. Why? It's not derech bishul. People don't do this. And nobody's going to confuse the sun with fire. If you take a beged and you put it up against a flame, and you heat up your beged, and then you cook on the beged, 100% asur. Issa d'oraisa. This is called a tolda of fire. It's not fire, it's the tolda of fire. Tolda of fire is cooking d'oraisa, d'oraisa. It's not a d'rabban, it's not a chumrah. It's d'oraisa. What about if I take my clothing and I heat it up in the sun and I cook on that? Again, the sun itself is 100% mutter. Clothing heating up by fire is 100% asur. What if I take clothing and heat it up in the sun? Everybody would say, what do you mean? I'm allowed to cook in the sun. So why can't I take my beged and heat it up and put an egg on it? No, that's a problem. Why? Because you might come to confuse it with the beged that I put it directly on the fire. So the beged that you heated up with a sun is much worse than a beged heated up, than cooking directly in the sun. Says the Gemara, no, Omer Nachman, Bechama, if I cook directly in the sun, the Kulei Amaloi Pligi the Shari, it's mutter. Now, don't go cooking in the sun, look up in halacha what the halacha is. Probably would be asur min d'rabbanan. Means mutter. There's no issa d'oraisa. Betal the su'ur, if I heat up my beged in a flame, Kulei Amaloi Pligi the asur, that's issa d'oraisa. Ki pligi, where is the machlokes? Bitol v'sachama. If I heat up my beged in the sun, like that picture that we had all in the beginning, this guy. This is where the machlokes is. Mar sobar gazrinon told us achama to told us ur, umar sobar loy gazrinon. And the other man says, no, if I could cook inside in the sun itself, there's no reason for me not to cook with a step away from the sun. Something was heated up in the sun, on the sun, there's no gzeira. Now let's go back to a dut shemesh, a solar panel. We said you're allowed to cook in the sun directly, but you're not allowed to cook. Oh, he says that in the Masif that says cooking directly in the sun is mutter even midrabanan. So it makes our question even stronger. What's a dut shemesh? Is the water directly in the sun and cooking, or perhaps not? Perhaps it's in a pipe that's directly in the sun. You hear the shaila? It's not. Maybe the pipe is like that beged that you're putting the water on the beged. Yeah.
Eli Stefansky has a question.
Eli Kamiansky.
Hey, what about something you said indirectly that it can't cook it, but what about like a greenhouse effect, which is indirect, but it's trapping the heat?
So I think that's similar to what we're asking now. No, why is that different than a solar panel that we're talking about now? And what are you doing? What are you cooking? You're cooking food in a greenhouse?
Yeah, theoretically you're trapping the heat. So
if the heat because of
from the sun,
should be fine.
it's like
It's directly because of the sun.
But the sun goes directly through the glass, hitting the food, right? But there's more of an effect because it's being trapped. I don't know.
trapping the heat.
I don't know. Ask your local rabbi. I hear. I'm just bringing up what the question is also in a solar panel, because solar panel you could see it in both ways. It almost seems like it's a tolda of sun, because over here it's hitting the. I don't think it would heat up as strongly if not for the metal and the black and the this. And also there's some solar panels that work differently. The water is in the dud, and this other water just keeps on going. It's the same water over and over that goes around the dud. I don't know. Anyways,
There's also
yeah.
for the dut shemesh, a better thing that I was thinking about is these instant. The
Instant
ones
how-
you have in your house.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's a very good point. Rabbi Isai, I'm plugging the gas company's Jungreis, whatever it's called. If anybody wants hot Youngers. If anybody wants hot water, wants to live in Israel and not complain all the time that his dud goes out and this and that, if you could afford it, it's very kedai. It's called a Junkers. What? Runs on gas. Avi Kamiansky gave me the idea a long time ago, and I love it. It never broke down. Great. Yeah, but Junkers is 100% also because you're turning on the flame every time you turn on the hot water. That's, you have to be careful. If you have a Junkers, I never do it. And every Shabbos I say, next Shabbos I'm going to turn off my Junkers, because by mistake somebody always pulls the knob this way towards the hot, and when you turn on and to wash your hands for just Netilas Yadayim, you're probably turning on that machine, so it's a little bit of a problem. Anyway, let's go weiter. Mute this guy. Mute Eli immediately. Say that what?
That's real fire, the Junkers.
Yeah, 100%. Real fire, and you're turning it on every time you. I don't know if there's a delay. I don't know how it works, that machine. We got to really test it out, but I'm afraid that it's a big problem. So you have to know exactly where you're. If you have that single lever thing in a Shabbos, in a regular sink, in a kitchen sink, and you don't know exactly what position it is, and you do like halfway, you might be turning on your Junkers. It's a big problem. All right, I'm sure the other guys turn off the Junkers, but I'm the type of person that if I turned it off, I'll forget to turn it on for 3 weeks. Kitzer, all right. Zog the Gemara. V'lo yatmin.
You would remember to turn it on when you're sitting in your cold shower.
When I hear my wife screaming, yeah. V'lo yatmin b'chol. V'lifloig nami Rabbi Yosi b'ha. So we learned in the Mishnah. Yeah. By the way, Rabbi Yosi, you got to keep track here. If I'm missing any words, you got to tell me. I don't need these emails, 2 emails, whatever it was. V'lo yatmin b'chol. So you're not allowed to take an egg or a food and bury it in sand. Now it seems like nobody argues in that. V'lifloig nami Rabbi Yosi b'ha. Rabbi Yosi, who argues on cooking on top of clothing and says that if it was heated up by the sun, it's mutter. How come he doesn't argue on sand that's also heated up by the sun? Rabba Omar Gzeira Shema Yatmin Beremetz. We have 2 answers here. Rabba says it's because sand is similar to remetz. We had the other day ashes that are mixed with coals, somebody might confuse the two and start using the ashes. Rav Yosef Amar, and ashes, by the way, is Issa Deraisa, right? There's coals in it. If the ashes have coals in it, Issa Deraisa. We're talking about heated up by the sun, the Rabban. Rav Yosef Amar, Mipnei Shemezes Ofar Mim Kaimai. Rashi says that this means we're concerned about Chayfer Guma, digging a pit on Shabbos. So you're in the sand, you're gonna want to go a little deeper, you go a little deeper, you dig. The wording here is mazes. Rashi might have had a different girsa. Mazes means to touch, to move. To move, it doesn't say chayfer. To move means muktzah, so some Rishonim learn muktzah. My benai, what's the difference between the two reasons? Either gzeira of remets, of coals, or guma, chayfer guma. Ikibenayu, ofar tichayach. Very soft sand, like let's say in the beach. You're not really digging, it's not a big deal. You move it, you put it in. According to those Rishonim, like the Ran, who say that we're talking about Nachamal. We're talking about muktzah, so he's going to say, well, even if it's sand, sand is also muktzah. So they're going to learn that you just put the egg down or whatever you're putting down, and it by itself digs in. It's so soft, something like ashes, like something really, really soft, even less, I would say less than beach sand. Because beach sand, if you put an egg on it, it's not going to dig itself in. Something like ashes, you put it down and it goes into by itself. So that would be mutter according to that shita that says that the problem is that you're touching or the problem is that you're digging. There's no digging. But if the problem is shema yatim beremetz, that you might come to use coals, ashes and coals, then it's still a problem. Meisvei. You're allowed to put an egg, cook up an egg on a hot roof. Oh. So it says over here, you're not allowed to put, but we have to, real quickly, because we're running out of time here, Taisus brings up a very, very important point here, that it says that you're allowed to put an egg. If there's no problem of coals, you could put the egg in these ashes. If there's no problem of chayfer guma, you could put it in very soft. Whatever happened to the halacha of atmana, you're not allowed to be matman. So we're going to deal a lot with atmana later, but that's a big problem that Taisus brings up. Taisus goes into saying maybe Erev Shabbos, some want to say that sand, there's no atmana in sand, it's not considered moisef hevel, because sand itself doesn't yes, this sand is moisef hevel. This sand increases the heat. That's only because it comes from another source called the sun. But it itself doesn't have the properties to heat up. In the afternoon it's going to just cool down. So therefore it's not. But what about regular atmana? Forget about moisef hevel. So they say, well, Taisus explains, we're dealing with an egg, an uncooked item. Uncooked item doesn't have the problem of atmana. Atmana is if it's already cooked, we're concerned that you're going to bury it and you're going to do something, you're going to be mechat b'gechom or whatever. But over here, it's not cooked at all. We don't have the problem. We're not going to come to any surah. Ella. So where are we? Yeah. So we learned that if you could put an egg on top of a boiling roof, or like that car, but not on sid, on, how do you say sid? Lime, whatever. Okay. Which is the Daraisa Lekel Migzar. So on the roof, there's no ashes. You're putting it on a flat roof. No, there's little dirt maybe. There's no problem. What about all the dirt on the roof? Stam gag, let's be offer. Most roofs don't have this dirt, so there's no gzeira of dirt. By the way, Stam derech hagav, I don't know if Yeshua is on today, but it just so happened to be, it was very interesting that the other day, literally 2 days ago, he came onto my roof and decided to do me a big favor, because I'm in Menachem Mata's minyan on the rooftop, and I have a lot of dirt and stuff going on there, and he came and he cleaned it out, and now everything became clear to me. Why? He probably learned the sugya beforehand, and he realized, Stam gag lesbe afar, and memela, he he was Mekayim this Stam Gag Let's Be offer. From now, most Gagois now in Bet Shemesh don't have offer. Mine was the only dirty one. Now it's Seder Gomer. Toshma. Maisa Shasu Anshe Tveria Veviu Silin Shel Tzonim L'toich Ama Shel Chamin. So we learned this whole Maisa here. Now, Rabbi Sai, I have a shayla for everybody. You can give me the thumbs up. That's sun. Thumbs down is not the sun. What is Chamei Tveria in your opinion? The hot springs of Tveria, are they heated by the sun or they're heated by fire? What are they? By fire? Everybody's giving me fire. Not by the sun. Everybody. Let me see the other. Everybody, hold on. We have 130 people here online. Nachamal, you guys, second screen. Fire or sun? What's Chamei Tveria? He says sun. Ari Muzaynik. Oh, he's a doctor. You got to be careful from him. He says sun. Very interesting, Ari. Okay. And Daddy Kornbluth says it's both. He's the only person that did two thumbs. Up and down. Okay, meaning he's saying that it's neither. Fine. Right? That's what you're saying? Neither. Okay. So you should have done sideways. Sorry. Okay. Fine. Bishleim Lamad Omar says the Gemara. Toshma, Maisa Shosu Anshe Tveria Veviu Silin Shel Tzonim L'toich Ama Shel Chamin. Bishleim Lamad Omar Gzeir Shanyat Miberemetz. If the problem is that we're concerned about burying your food in ashes with coals, Haina de Damilat Mona, this is similar to burying. Why? Rashi says it's water within water. That's what I was saying. It makes a little bit more sense to me, at least, that if you could define where it is. It's going through this pipe, so it's water within water. Fine. But Rashi says that's called atmana. Different Rishonim take issue with Rashi and say, oh, according to Rashi, then you're not allowed to take a chont and put it into another chont, whatever. But if the issue is, what are we bringing a raya from Tveria, from springs? If the whole issue is digging and muktzah, whatever way you want to go, so why am I bringing a raya from Chamei Tveria? What's the connection? Chamei Tveria has a good connection to tell me that it's atmana, it's burying. So Chamei Tveria, water in water is burying, and all the other stuff is burying. But if we're talking about if Chamei Tveria is cooking and dirt is burying and digging, what's the connection? Says the Gemara, Misarvis Ma'aseh Tveria Seifakai. But if the problem is dirt is digging, like Rashi says, what's the connection to Tveria? Says the Gemara, Misarvis Ma'aseh Tveria Seifakai. You think that the Mishnah brought the story of Tveria to prove digging, cooking in dirt? We're not proving anything about dirt. Areishikai. It's a raya to the first part of the Mishnah. Lo yafkena b'sudarim. You're right. Cooking in dirt, in sand, is a different problem. It's a problem of digging. The Gemara, the Mishnah's raya is from Tveria, is not for digging, but for the beginning of the Mishnah. Can you cook on a piece of clothing like this? This is similar to Tveria. It's a told of Chama. It's how is the water heated in Chamei Tveria? From the sun. It hits the ground somehow, and it heats up the ground, and the ground puts out hot water. V'asilu Rabbanan. And Rabbanan said it's also so too, if I cook on clothing that's heated from the sun, it should be also. Amar Laho. So Rabbi Yossi says, no. Ahu told us Urhu. The springs, the hot springs come from a fire, not from the sun, like everybody did, like this. But a little bit different than what you thought. The Chalfei HaPischa de Gehenim. It comes from a source underneath the ground. The water goes by the doorway of Gehenim and heats it up. It comes from a flame, a real flame. It happens to be the Tolda of fire. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Chizda, we're turning the page, Daf Lametes Hamid Beis. From the story of Tveria, Rabbanan said it's also to use the Chamei Tveria on Shabbos, Batla Atmana B'Dava Moisef Hevel. Batla means a lashon, it becomes osir. it's also from now on to bury something in an object that creates more heat on Shabbos. Like the water of Tveria, it constantly gets hotter and hotter. It doesn't get colder and colder. There are certain salts, certain things that if you bury, whereas a blanket, I just put the blanket over it and it can retain heat, but it doesn't increase heat. From the Maisa of Tveria, you see that anything that increases heat, it's usher to do even from Friday. Because that's what happened in Tveria. They turned on the faucet on Friday, and Chacham said it's usher. Omar Ula argues. Taisus asks a kasha, but it really asks without. I don't understand what Rav Chizda was adding. That's exactly what the Mishnah says. But he says, well, it's Mefurish Mishnah later on, Daf Mem Zayin. And he goes into this different nafkaminas, but maybe the point is because Ula argues, and he says, no. Halacha ganshi Tveria. The halacha is, like Tveria, that you're allowed to heat up water on Shabbos through the hot springs. And Rabbi Yossi is going to hold, according to Ula, Rabbi Yossi holds that it doesn't go through Gehenim, it gets heated up by the sun. Omer Rav Nachman, Kvar Tavrinu, Anshe Tveria Silonayu. Tavrinu, they broke the pipes already. Even the people in Tveria agree that it's usher. What are you telling me, Ula, that it's mutter? They broke their pipes, they don't have pipes anymore. Says the Gemara, Maisa Shasu Anshi Tveria. No, he's okay. That's a CPAP machine, don't worry about it. My son-in-law was worried about you. But we already know, that's a CPAP machine, it's not a ventilator. He's in Brooklyn, we chap already. Zok the Gemara. So now I want to introduce you to I take a lot of pride in this piece of art here. Only because we're going back to the safari again. I got a little giraffe taking a shower. So we have like this, Rabbi Isai. Washing your hands, feet, and face on Shabbos, on Yontif, let's say. You're allowed to wash your face, hands, even if the water was heated up on Yontif. According to Beis Hillel, and according to Beis Shammai, even according to Beis Shammai, if you heat it up because you want to boil water on Yontif for food, and then later on, whoa, how do you get? Shlomo Kushner has this picture already as his backdrop. Unbelievable technology. It's that quick. Oh, he got it from. Yossi probably put it on the WhatsApp group. Okay. I thought he took a screenshot or something. Anyway, so Beis Shammai hold that you're allowed to use this water if it was heated up for food. You're just not allowed to do it to heat it up directly. To take a bath, even if the water was heated Erev Shabbos, you're not allowed to take a bath on Shabbos. Rechitza, that's Gzeiras Merchatzos. We discussed this a while back. That it's also because people were taking baths and they were heating up their water on Shabbos, and they said it happened before Shabbos. They made a gzera, no more baths on Shabbos. End of story. Okay, so baths, according to everybody's also. Big machloikis in showers. Can you take a shower on Shabbos with water that was heated up before Shabbos? So it goes like this. According to Rameir, it's 100% asur, even cold water. It's the extremes. Reb Meir is extremely machmer, even cold water. Reb Shimon is extremely makel, like he usually does in Masechta Shabbos. No muktzah. He says, he's extremely makel, says you're allowed to take a shower even with hot water on Shabbos. If it was heating up before Shabbos. Don't get all excited, Chaim. But the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda that says a compromise. Cold water is mutter, hot water is asur. And the Mishnah says you should be makbid also on hot water, on cold water, ayin sham. Fine. So now let's see inside. Says the Gemara, my rechitza. Again, so what does the Mishnah say? The Mishnah says if you have this water coming in from Tveria, from the hot springs of Tveria, it's cold water, you're heating up the cold water, it started Erev Shabbos. Says the Mishnah, it's asur as if it's ki'ilu you heated it up on Shabbos. Wow, that's a great one. Donnie Kramer. Gives me a lot of nachas to see him. It's a lot of people that I've been missing for a while. And I know you weren't in Los Angeles because no flights anymore to Los Angeles. So I hope to see you. Yitzi Spiros from Chicago. What do you mean? Yitzi Spiros, Yitzi Spiro. Meir's asking me, Yitzi Spira. Yitzi Spira. Bruce Spira, by the way, Stam, Derech Agav. When I left Kailo, my first job was, I said this already, my first job, I wanted to learn real estate from the bottom up. So I decided I want to learn all the trades. So I worked for Yitzi Spiro's father, who was an electrician. I worked for him for a year and a half as an electrician. Then I became a plumber. I'm a plumber. That's what I am. A plumber, electrician. Then I did framing, and then I learned the whole business. I enjoyed it. That's how I did a lot of rehabs and flips, and all the properties I ever bought were all the upside of whatever. So Yitzi Spiro, that's who he is. He lives now in Eretz Yisrael, but he's Bruce Spiro's son. Akul Panim. What is the Mishnah saying? Oh, on Shabbos you're not allowed to do this. If it's talking about the bathtub, so you'll be medayik. Oh, it's also like this water that you're not allowed to take a bath on Shabbos. With Shabbos, only if you heat it up on Shabbos, it's also. We just said over here, this is also to take a bath on Shabbos, is also even if you heated up the water before Shabbos. So what's the pshat? I should really make this lower because it's dinging here. Okay. You're allowed to wash your hands and face if it was heated up before Shabbos. You're not allowed to wash your whole body. You're not allowed to take a bath with water that was heated up before Shabbos. Ella. So we're forced, in between, we're not going to stay like this, but we're forced to say, Ella panav yadav v'raglav. We're talking about washing your hands and feet and your face. Eima Seifa. How does it fit into Yontif? B'Yontif, kecham shucha b'Yontif. On Yontif, we're going to treat the hot springs of Tiberia like water that you heated up on Yontif itself. No. And water that you heated up on Yontif itself, we said, you're allowed to wash your hands and face on Yontif. Even if according to Basil, you're allowed to heat up the water specifically to wash your hands and face. Even according to Bishama, you're allowed to use the water, it was heated up for another thing. So it can't be that we're talking about washing your hands and face, because it just doesn't fit into the Mishnah. You're going to tell me this goes according to Bishama? It can't be. Our Mishnah must be going according to Basil. Halach is like Basil. We never have a Mishnah that goes like Bishama and not like Basil. Now, what does Bishama say? This is not Bishama. You should not heat up the water specifically to wash your hands and face. Unless you cook them up specifically to heat up water for your tea, and by mistake you left over a little water for your hands and feet, and maybe you use that. That's what Bishama say. Okay, but our mission doesn't. But our mission is saying that you cannot do that. You can't do it l'chatchila yontif. Only goes according to Bishama. Ubesil matirim. They still say you're allowed to turn on, take a cold pot of cold water, put it on the flame, heat it up, and take a shower on Yontif. Right? Tonight. Get to tonight. Can you take a hot shower? According to Basil, yes. We're passing like Basil. The Mishnah must be going according to Basil. So we cannot be talking about hands and feet. So what are we talking about? We're not talking about a bath because that, according to everybody, is usher even if you heated up the water before Shabbos. We're not talking about washing your hands and feet because that's a mutter, according to Basil, 100% on Yontif. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a shower. Yes, I inserted this giraffe myself, 100%. It's always about, Leah, we're going back to, we always have to talk about the safari, we had the monkeys before, we have the giraffe. Geshmak, it's Geshmak Adaf. So the shtatev bem kol gufay askin, we're talking about a shower. By Tano the Tanya li shtatev odam kol gufay bem bechamim bem betzoynei the remeir. Now, so let's do the cheshbon by ourselves. The Mishnah says that you're not allowed to use this chamit tfer on Shabbos. It's as if you turned on the water on Shabbos. But if I didn't turn it on Shabbos and I turned it on Erev Shabbos, it's mutter. Wait a minute. Who says it's mutter? Rabbi Meir says even cold water is also to take a shower with. Rabbi Yehuda says hot water is also, cold water is mutter. So who says it's mutter? Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon says cold and hot water is mutter to take a shower with if you heated up the water before Shabbos. You're not allowed to even cold water. Reb Shimon matter. That's the Reb Shimon we're looking for. He says you're allowed to. So our Mishnah goes according to Reb Shimon. Reb Yehuda Omer, b'chamin asa v'tzanim mutter. Fine. I know that we're running late. It's already 8:00. You got to see this Taisvus, just for the geschmack of it. Smack in the middle of the page. Ubeis Hillel matirin. V'aimeri, for some giggles here. V'aimeri b'shem riva. You see it in the middle of Taisvus, in the middle of the page. Ubeis Hillel matirim. Smack in the middle of Taisvus. B'shem riva. The rechitza eina ela letanug. Taisvus says that that we take baths today, showers, is only for pleasure, enjoyment. Va'asura, k'may mugmar, da'azir b'bekam ksubis. Listen to this. Mishum de'ina shavel, de'in shavel chol nefesh. Not everybody needs a shower. You don't need to take a shower.
I think back then it was.
Oh, maybe nishtanu ad-dairais. There are people that if it does, in our generation, if it doesn't seem mefurish in the halacha, they have to take a shower Erev Shabbos. They wouldn't even take on Erev Shabbos. They would go months without taking a shower. They want to be mekayim the halacha. Avazeya, he says, shavi l'chol nefesh. In those days, they go into the schwitz. That was already like for refuah. They didn't tiny gela brios, but taking a shower. And a shower l'chol nefesh. Not everybody needs a shower. You can go for a very long time without a shower. Just thought it was interesting in those days, at least. Zog the Gemara. The whole machlokes he starts off saying, and he's going to take it back for a second. If the water is in a kli, now people are going to say, wait a minute, this guy must have heated it up on Shabbos. No. So we have a machlokes. But if he takes it out of the ground, no machlokes. Says the Gemara, that can't be. Where's the water? The water's not in a kli, the water's in the ground. And they said, you said karka no machlokes. Karka is machlokes. Rabbanan say it's awesome. You got to reverse it. Machlokes be karka. If I take the water from a vessel, everybody admits that this is also because people are going to say that I heated it up on Shabbos. But from the karka, that's a machlokes. Rabbanan say it's also. Rav Yossi says it's mutar. Omar Rabbi bar Bachana, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Says Rabbi Yochanan, halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is the compromise. You're allowed to, Chaim is smiling. You're allowed to take a shower on Shabbos with water that was not heated up before Shabbos. Cold water only. Water that's heated up before Shabbos, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, is asur. Like Reb Meir. Reb Meir says everything is asur, cold, hot. We made a gzeira. Doesn't matter what kind of water. It's all. No, Rabbi Yehuda says cold water. If you want to brave that cold water, it's mutter according to Rabbi Yehuda, and that's the halacha. Akapanim, we don't. Schita, this, that, ayin sham. How do you know that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda? You know this because of a rule that we have when we paskin, or you know this because Rabbi Yochanan said it mefurish. Or Rebbe said a rule. Anytime you have a three-way machlokes and one of the three makes a compromise, the halacha will be like the compromise. So over here, Rabbi Yehuda is the compromise, right? He says a little bit like Reb Shimon, a little bit like Reb Meir. He's the compromise. The only time we don't say this rule, chutz mikuli matloniyos. You guys remember this? We just had it, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Kuli matloniyos is a garment that a person decided on the spot to make it into a shmata, to plug up his barrel. And then we had a whole shaila, if it's hung on the door, hung on the other side of the door. So over there, Shava Pisha Rabbi Lezer Machmir, Rabbi Yeshua Mekel, even though Rabbi Lezer is Machmir, Rabbi Yeshua is Mekel, Rabbi Kiva Machriya, the halacha is not like Rabbi Kiva, even though he's the compromise. And over there it's a little different. Why? Rabbi Kiva was the Talmud of both Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Eliezer. The reason why the halacha is not like Rabbi Kiva makes a lot of sense. We're holding Daf Mem Amud Aleph. Because Rabbi Kiva himself took it back. Fine. But did you know that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda because of this rule, or because you actually heard him say it? Says the Gemara, what's the difference? Okay, so you heard it from the rule. Robert, you missed it. We sponsored the shir in your father-in-law's schus, the refuah shleima of your father-in-law. Maybe when I'm finished in 10 seconds, you could say a word or two about your father-in-law. Okay? He's over there. No, Robert Links with the green grass in the background. This rule might be only said regarding a machlokes, a three-way machlokes in a Mishnah. But this machlokes Reb Meir, Reb Yehuda, Reb Shimon is not in a Mishnah. It's in a Brisa. So perhaps we don't have the rule. That's why I want to know. Did you hear it mefurish? Amalei, yes, I know befurish merely. I heard from Reb Yechon that the halach is like Reb Yehuda, and that's how we paskin. Have a wonderful yontiv. We'll see you here, Matzah yontiv. Unfortunately, Leon and the rest of the guys, I won't see you guys, but you'll see me, Bezer Hashem, on YouTube. Yes.
Is tonight Yontif already?
Tonight is Yontif. If you didn't know that, it's a good thing you came to the shir.
People aren't getting the memos in their house.
Yeah, tonight is Yontif. All right, Robert, where are you? Unmute yourself. Let me hear about your father-in-law and how he's doing. And then we'll say some Tehillim.
Leon's already.
Gary. I guess Gary's gone. So we'll have to say some Tehillim instead. You're not able to unmute yourself?
Said you can't mute yourself because the host.
Oh, here, you're unmuted.
Now I'm unmuted now.
Yeah, you're unmuted. Everybody hears you. Go ahead. How's your father-in-law doing?
So he's still the same, which means he's just over 2 weeks on the ventilator so far. We actually set up a Tehillim group on the WhatsApp, so they're on the 42nd Sefer Tehillim saying for him. But we have an interesting thing that because he's in England and most people are in England and there's a few people in Israel, so he ends up with Tehillim throughout the day and a bit of the night. But in the middle of the night, there's no Tehillim. And at that point in time, it's actually the most unstable. So we actually did Tehillim at 4 o'clock this morning. And so it'll be Tehillim also at a time when he's not being so stable. But he's done Daf Yomi before, and he came across this share online on YouTube. And then randomly came across it, started watching it, got hooked onto it, discovered that I'm on it, got very excited by it. And I actually told my mother-in-law yesterday that
Yeah, you can turn off the YouTube.
Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, we all hear you. We all hear you.
I posted